So I just saw The Assistant, another 2019 movie to add to the collection, and I liked it a lot. The Assistant is a movie that is not for everybody, and I cannot stress that enough. If you go into it without knowing what the plot of the film is about, there is a risk of you wasting your time and ending up despising this film. That is why it currently has a rating of 5.9 on IMDb. That's even less than Suicide Squad. Not a lot happens throughout the film. In fact, almost nothing happens. It's all a very eventful movie. The entire thing boils down to watching someone who works as an assistant for a film production company and explores some of the issues with the culture of sexual harassment that Hollywood doesn't want us to know about, because they don't view it as an issue. I mean, the people getting laid don't view it as an issue. I'm sure the other party has a different take on it. And the way the film portrays these events isn't very exciting or movie-like. Ordinary is the perfect word to describe everything that happens throughout the film. And if you have seen it, it's not hard to understand why. It's not explicit, the film doesn't stop midway through just to tell you that the reason why everything has been monotonous, kind of tedious, and even a bit depressing is because the culture surrounding these activities plays out exactly the same way in real life. Nobody makes a big deal out of it. And that's the whole point of the film. The absurdity of the entire situation is so great that you don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just present it like it's real, and like in other films. Most of the times the movie has to create an interest in a subject matter that isn't particularly interesting enough on its own, so audiences can get excited. They have to create drama and add action to make things spicy. And if they are allowed to add sex, they will add sex. That's why in a show like Game of Thrones, whenever they can show you boobs, they show you boobs. Because who doesn't like boobs? Now, that isn't the case with everything you see. There are a lot of movies and shows that don't generate drama just for the views. They actually have a story in mind to tell and a way on how it should be told. The Assistant is one of those films. There is a point to you watching the protagonist doing her job. Opening plastic bags of bottles of water and putting them in the fridge, tidying up the office when a meeting is over, answering phone calls, picking up the mail, heating up food in the microwave, doing paperwork, etc. And if all these things weren't presented as well as they were, I might not have enjoyed the film as much as I did. The sound played an important role. If the film had opted for not putting the sound of the environment and just showed what's happening without letting you hear it, then this would have been 100 times worse. Like in this scene, all the noises generated by the assistant using the copy machine, the noises the copy machine creates on its own, it's all necessary information for the experience the film is trying to create. And if you don't enjoy this kind of stuff, then this film has zero things to offer you. In terms of story and characters, there isn't a lot going on here. There were two characters that fell a bit over the top. Her boss, who she just talked to on the phone, and the psychiatrist she goes to see when the movie is almost over. The boss just yelled at her, but it was a bit too cartoonish at times. Now the psychiatrist, that guy genuinely pissed me off with how obtuse he was being. You'll understand what I mean when you watch the scene itself. Everyone else came off like a real person who works in a regular office. They were all normal. There were no standouts or interesting characters to be found. The best thing this film has to offer is the execution of its premise, and that's why it was enjoyable. Despite the story being lackluster, they put a lot of effort in the presentation. The only thing I can think of that would make this movie better without losing its essence, it would be cutting the film down and turn it into a 40-minute short film. There are a lot of sequences that in my opinion aren't really necessary. They didn't add much to the overall experience. The important bits could be told in a 40 to 45-minute time slot. And this could have also made the film more digestible for normal audiences, avoiding the shit IMDb score that it currently has. I'm giving The Assistant a 6 out of 10. In terms of enjoyment, it will most likely be a 7, but that doesn't really matter since I don't rate films in terms of enjoyment. I just want you to know that I really like this film. If it sounds like something that might interest you, then check it out. Otherwise, watch something else. Anyway, see you next time.